Oh, Sonic Team, you never fail to surprise me, don't you? By the time of writing this, Sega has shown off gameplay of the newest title in the Sonic franchise, Sonic Frontiers. And man, what a roller coaster it has been these past couple of weeks. When the gameplay was first shown off, people were straight up hating this game, saying that it was a boring, unpolished, and generic way of bringing Sonic into the open world genre. However, as more and more of the game was shown throughout the weeks, we now have a divisive stance on the game, with some people saying this is going to be the best 3D Sonic game of all time, with others still on the fence on whether or not this game is going to live up to people's standards. Well, I thought now would be a good time for me to talk about my thoughts and opinions on the game, as now that news has died down a bit, I feel we have been shown enough on how the game will play and run. But before we get into all of that, I'd like to emphasize that this is just my opinion. Don't take everything I say about this game to heart if my ideals don't line up with yours. I'd actually really love to hear what you guys think about the game in the comments. Now, with that all out of the way, I'd like to say that everything about this game and all that surrounds it is disorienting. There are just so many things going on about Sonic Frontiers, whether it be good or bad, it all gives me a headache whenever I just think about the game. From the marketing, gameplay, to even the reception, there's just loads to talk about, and it's all honestly frustrating when going into it. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I guess a good place to start off is how Sega is marketing the game. On December 9th, 2021, Sega showed the first look of Sonic Frontiers at the 2021 Game Awards, and it was not a good first impression. All they showed off was how the world looked with no gameplay whatsoever. You know, the thing you'd actually want to show off to get people to buy your game. To be fair, it looked nice, ignoring the stuttering and frame drops. It looked like it was a beautiful open world. Too bad it was so generic and bland. Even from the beginning, seeing how much Sonic clashed with the setting, it made me nervous and really worried that Sonic Team didn't know what they were doing when making an open world Sonic game. I expected there to be unique terrain like loops, hills, that would really play off of Sonic's speed and aesthetics, you know? But instead Sonic Team just said, "F you, here's grass." It just looked like they ripped assets from Breath of the Wild and placed Sonic in the middle, and oh my god, is that the Forces model? Ugh! It left me really concerned. But hey, maybe they'll release some gameplay soon, and there will be some unique stuff that they're just not showing off yet. I'm sure in a couple of weeks they'll show off some actual gameplay. Wow, that gameplay's ass. Really? Almost 6 months of waiting and this is how you show off the next mainline Sonic game in over 5 years? This got so much hate. There were videos, articles, basically everyone was saying how the gameplay looked so bad and derivative. Seriously, who's in charge of the marketing for this game? They really need to be fired. You can't just keep your audience waiting for something as basic as gameplay and have it be from an early build of the game. And yes, it was an early build because since that first gameplay reveal, Sega has shown off more of the game with improvements such as fixed animations and the overall look of the world looks better. Which, by the way, why would you even show off that build? Are you trying to get people to not buy your game? I feel like they tried to pull off a stunt like what people were thinking Paramount did for the first Sonic movie. You know, show off how bad the product is, and then once everyone complained, fix it to show them that the product is better. Haha, it's fake, all, haha. It wasn't for reals, guys. Except Paramount didn't fake the original design, and actually went back and fixed it out of respect for the fans, even going as far as to delay the film. And Sega failed at this tactic because the game still looks more or less the same. This is just a personal nitpick, but it's so annoying with how they kept showing something new every 2 days. Like, just show everything all at once. Like, I had to rewrite this script twice because new information kept coming out almost every single day, and some things I said would either be dated or just flat out wrong, when that wouldn't have happened if they just showed off an actual good trailer showing everything about the game. And that's just another thing about the marketing for this game. We don't even know some major parts, such as the story or even those cyberspace levels that everyone's talking about. So, an update after coming from the Nintendo Direct Mini, they showed off more frontiers, and they actually showed off the new cyberspace levels. And I just have to say, they really don't look like anything special. It just looks more so like the level design in Forces, just straight hallways, basic platforming, basic level design. It 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 doesn't excite me more for the game. And are you freaking kidding? They're really reusing Green Hill Zone. Are you serious? Like, come on. This is actually frustrating. The fact that they're still reusing Green Hill Zone after all this time and the many times they've been using it. Like, I don't know if this makes any of you guys frustrated as much as me, but I mean, come on, dude. You're seriously gonna make a brand new 3D Sonic game. You can't keep on rehashing old zones, especially Green Hill. Yeah, no, honestly, this makes me even more scared for the game rather than excitement, and that's just really sad to say. They also introduced the new character, Sage, the ghost girl that everyone was talking about. But the thing is, they didn't even mention it in the trailer. You have to go as far as to read the Game Informer and stuff behind the scenes in order to get a basic premise of what the story is about and what the characters are. Like, come on. Show off some cutscenes. Show off anything that'll get us excited for the story. Don't lock it behind something else we have to go out of our way to read. Like, this is so frustrating. Anyway, just back to the video. They're not even showing the other terrain types. Like, they said there are deserts and other areas we can explore, but we have yet to see them. And this game comes out in less than 6 months, when they've had all this time to show things off. Why are you guys making people who are playing the game sign NDAs when just showing off what you have right now will make people more excited and inclined to buy the game? The marketing is just frustrating. I don't get why they're being so secretive so late into the game's launch. Well, let's see if what they showed off is actually good or not. Let's talk about probably the most important element, the gameplay. It's not the worst thing in the world, but they really could have done so much more with the concept of an open world Sonic game. Like, I feel like the only reason why they made an open world Sonic game was because the fans wanted it, without realizing why they wanted it in the first place. They had a huge opportunity to truly make a fun and unique experience with this concept. Like, when I say picture a sandbox exploration game with Sonic in it, what do you think? You're probably thinking of using his speed to traverse the world to reach new and exciting areas that test the player's skill and ability to keep Sonic at a rapid, steady pace by keeping up his speed with momentum, good game controls, and mechanics. Seriously, how fun would it be to use the speed you gain from the terrain, such as hills, ramps, and loop-de-loops to reach your destination? It would feel exhilarating, all the meanwhile giving total control to the player on how they want to go about things. This open world concept for Sonic sounds great. Too bad Sonic Team didn't get the memo. Whenever they show off Sonic running in the world, it just looks so boring. Come on, where's the momentum, the physics, anything that looks like it would be fun to control Sonic? They didn't build a game where Sonic interacted with the environment. Instead, it seems like they built an open world that any character could go through and just play Sonic in it. This does not work. It's like they ported his controls and physics from Forces, tweaked them a bit just so he could feel a little fine in an open space, rather than just, a hallway, and just called it a day. There's nothing about this that screams Sonic. And the Sonic elements that they did put in the game, such as the rails, springs, and dash pads, all automated. You took the three most scripted elements in any Sonic game and put them in here instead of, I don't know, letting the player earn the speed themselves. They all look so out of place. They're not integrated with the world at all. Like these floating ramps, they just look terrible. They couldn't have designed them to look not so tacked on. They only put these things in here to make you feel like you're going fast, when in reality the game is controlling itself for you. Which is sad, because when you do use them, it's probably the fastest you're ever going in the game. When it ends, Sonic just goes back to his reduced speed. His reduced speed. God damn it, they capped off his speed. Are you freaking kidding me? Apparently you can make him have more speed when you upgrade the skill tree, but why not just give it to him in the first place? You're taking the fun away from the player just so you can make it seem like they're advancing, when in reality this is basic stuff that shouldn't be blocked off by a skill tree. You know what this reminds me of? Sonic and the Secret Rings, and how you had to spend skill points in order to get better controls. And everyone loved that game. Speaking of what everyone loves, puzzles! And they're just as bad as you think they are. Man, there's nothing like a good simplistic and monotonous puzzle to break up the gameplay every once in a while, right? Like, what if instead of doing these slow and tedious puzzles, excuse the massive quotation marks, such as turning a statue around, or walking on these tiles in a specific sequence. Give him set pieces that use his speed to solve them. Like, what if there's a wall, and you had to gain enough speed to get over it with a ramp or a slope or something? Or what if there was a tree or pole you can grab onto, run to one side of the area, and then once you stopped running, it would fling you all across the map? And those are just off the top of my head. You can do so much more with puzzles and different land terrain using his speed. But all I see is a Sonic that's going at a moderate pace on nothing but flat, basic land. They really should have took points from fan projects such as Sonic Utopia or Project Hero. Now, those developers understand what makes a good 3D Sonic experience. Seriously, Sonic Team, get those guys or someone who knows 3D Sonic to help you or something. You're just treading old ground at this point. Like, those aforementioned cyberspace levels, they're said to play like the boost gameplay, and if the level design for those are as basic as the ones in Forces, me and a lot of other people are going to be very upset. That's inexcusable. It doesn't help that the boss you showed off of that one dragon-looking creature in the sky is nothing but quick-stepping and automation. Really just reminds me of something. Do something new, do something fun with the speed and mechanics, and don't make the excuse Sega of, oh, we don't have time, or our game engine wouldn't allow us, because you've used those excuses for the longest time and I've had enough of it. However, I do like one aspect of the gameplay, and that's the combat system. I actually feel like this is the most solid part of the game. Aside from some jank animations, it actually looks like they give you tons of options on how you want to go about fighting enemies, as well as expanding your moveset with the skill tree I mentioned earlier. Not to mention that some of the moves look cool and fit well with how Sonic would fight, primarily using his feet. No, god damn, not like that. I'm talking about his speed, how his legs are a powerful weapon, like this flurry kick move. It's like he's kicking little sound waves with the speed of his feet. Or that diving kick looked pretty fast and high energy. Oh, and the cyclone move looks really satisfying to pull off. And it seems like you can strain combos with it when the enemies fly in the air. It just looks so sick. This is what I'm talking about. Pushing the gameplay that fits with the style of Sonic, but is new and fun to control. You did a good job with this part, Sonic Team. Here's a treat. So yeah, overall the gameplay shown is just as baffling as the marketing. Okay, maybe not as bad since they managed to do something right with the gameplay, and that's the combat. And for those of you saying, oh, they can fix or change it by the time it releases, they can't. This is how the game is going to be, and the only thing I can see them changing are the small details like the animation or bugs and glitches. But it's okay. I mean, for the first attempt at an open world Sonic game, it could be worse. And I can only hope that they expand it with future titles, which I'll talk more about later. So far, the marketing sucks, the gameplay is a little underwhelming. What's next? Oh, those two don't even compare to what I'm about to talk about next. And that's the game's reception. More so with how the fan base is on whether you have to like or dislike this game. People are able to share and express how they feel about the game, well, with anything really, and you shouldn't undermine or tell them that they're wrong about how they feel. I'm not going to say who, obviously, but there's this one video I saw where the person was saying that people, more so internet influencers, are just bashing the game by saying it looks unpolished and that you shouldn't listen to them because the game isn't finished yet. And that's kind of a bad way of looking at things. Yeah, there are going to be some people that are just trolling and just say bad things for the memes, but there are actual people that are giving constructive criticism on how the game can improve. And to just tell them to stop hating the game and wait till it's released is honestly just an immature way of going about things. I mean, it's fair to them to question a game's quality, especially with it being so close to releasing and they're just now being showed the gameplay. And people were praising the creator of the video, saying things like, "You're right, people need to stop bashing this game. It's going to be so good." Like, how do you know if it's going to be good? How do you know if it's going to be bad? And if no one gives good criticism, then how are things going to improve? And the same could be said for the other side of the argument. I've seen people say how much they love this game and give good reasons why, and people immediately just tell them, "Oh, it's just because you're probably a little kid who doesn't know what good games are," or "Stop saying these games are good and maybe Sega will listen for once." But then, how will they know what people actually like about the game? No matter which side you're on, you can't belittle people based on what they think. As long as they're able to give good and valid reasons why they feel a certain way, you should respect it. You don't have to agree necessarily, but just let people say how they feel about the game. And if they're just blindly following one side without any reason, then just don't listen to them. Just do you. Also, another reason I should bring up that people should check themselves on is Izuka's statement on how this game could lead to an Adventure 3. First off, this is like, what, the fourth time he said this? There's nothing new being said here. Second, I feel like he's kind of using this as a crutch, like, oh, if this game succeeds, then you might possibly get a new Sonic Adventure game, but if you don't buy this game, then you could just say goodbye to the idea ever existing. Just don't feel pressure to buy this game only because you want them to make a Sonic Adventure 3. Buy it because you want to buy the game. Trust me, they have every opportunity to make a new installment in the adventure games. It's just up to them to actually make it. Zuka, Sonic Team, don't pressure the fans into buying something just so there's a chance of them getting what they want. If you really want to make the fans happy, actually, I don't know, give them what they want. But hey, it's just a suggestion. And even if this game is praised, expand upon it in future titles. Don't just take what the fans say they like about this game and just keep rehashing it. You have to expand and update the franchise so it won't go stale. Like, if you are going to make an Adventure 3, whenever that comes out, I don't want to see these physics in it. I actually want to see physics like the other adventure games. Like you promise. Or else people are going to get really upset and it's going to show that you have no idea how to please the fan base. So, those are my thoughts on Sonic Frontiers. Overall, it's a mess on just the way it's being marketed, to how the game plays, and how people are going about their opinions. It's really a lot. I'll just leave it at that. Even though I don't think highly of the game so far, I still have hope that it'll at least be good or decent. I mean, at least they're trying something a little new with the franchise. Even though it might not look fun, it could lead to some cool things in the future. And hey, Ian Flynn is in charge of the story, and especially after reading some of the IDW comics, this is something I'm really looking forward to. Anyways, thank you for watching and hearing me ramble about this game for a long time. I really appreciate it if you made it this far into the video. I'm DanSpex, and I'll catch you later. Take it easy.